Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Captain Swan podcast number 104. I am Michelle, to the end of the world or time on Tumblr, and these are the people with me today.
Hi, I'm Daniela, and I'm Queen Swan 20 on Tumblr.
Hi, I'm Lisa, and I'm You Brought Me Home.
Hi, I'm Ro, and happy Easter.
Well, we're here to talk about episode 16 of season 6, Helper, which I guess the title makes more sense now.
Yes.
Oh, dear.
Dearie.
Yes. We now. Okay, here's my question about that. They had the Black Fairy calling Gideon Dearie a lot, and Rumpel calls everybody that. But didn't she give him up when he was an infant? Did he like absorb that by osmosis while she was pregnant with him? How did this happen?
I don't know.
I don't think I want to think about Rumpel's birth.
Too true, Ro. Too true.
We're gonna think
Or
about
the
that in episode Black
conception.
Fairy, remember?
Yeah,
No.
Oh, no,
No
please.
mental pictures.
My eyes. I need bleach. Oh my god. It's bad enough they expect us to believe that actually happened.
We're
Ugh.
gonna see that in the episode called The Black Fairy next Sunday.
Yikes. Oh god, please no. Please no.
I still
Way.
think it's funny that Peter Pan banged a fairy.
Yeah, but he wasn't Peter Pan there then. He was Gross Malcolm.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You do realize that there is a very large contingent of the Peter Pan fandom who OTPs Peter with Tinkerbell, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, but that's
not the fairy everyone was expecting.
Yeah. I'm just saying
Yeah,
it's not unprecedented.
that's Peter Pan. That's not Gross Malcolm.
I know,
Yeah.
I still don't.
And Jamie
still
Murray
don't
is
get it.
hot.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen her topless.
Ew.
All of us
And
who have
Dexter.
seen Spartacus know what you.
Do you really think she would have come to him as her normal self? Don't you think she would have disguised herself as someone that he was more used to, like, being around
But
wherever he was
why?
from?
But why? This is the thing I don't
Because he
understand.
probably would have asked her the same fucking thing.
No,
You're
no,
hot.
no.
Why are you coming after me?
No, that's what I'm asking. Why would she even like denigrate herself to sleep with a dude when she just goes around stealing babies? Did she think making one of her own would bust her out of prison? What is happening?
Maybe.
Where are your standards, woman?
Apparently the
Yeah,
only
if
reason
you're gonna do that, pick someone hot.
apparently the only reason she steals babies, I thought it was this bigger plan of hers, but it's really not. She just needs them as worker bees to mine her fucking fairy dust.
But why get them as babies? She has to raise them and shit. Why not kidnap like children who are of age to actually do manual labor?
Mm.
Because if they're babies and she raises them, then that means that they're beholden to her. They're compliant. If she gets them when they're older, they're used to being around their families. They're not going to listen to her.
Well, that clearly didn't work because the dude that she stomped with a bug just like didn't care. He was all with the rebellion.
As much as you guys don't like Belle's son, I would like to think I could chalk some of that up to before Gideon went all fucko, that he had at least some sort of a positive influence reading to him from his mother's book.
And then he took the coward's way out.
I know, it's a family thing.
5 seconds later.
It's a family thing. It's what they do.
He's Rumpel's son, just like the other one.
Even Henry has had his moments.
Mm.
And then he turned into, her little minion anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now that we understand why, that what he's doing to Emma, he's not doing of his own volition, obviously. She's got his heart and she's forcing him.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it better. I'm over the heart control business.
Quite honestly, and I know that a lot of people that watched it and were live blogging it, I have to agree with it. When he was helping her he seemed much more like tolerable as a character, much more interesting as a character when he was being a decent guy than being a dick. And then when he went back to being a dick, it was just like, oh God.
Oh, I
You
knew the
know,
whole time it was a trick. I was like, dude, I don't trust this dude as far as I can throw
I know,
him.
but that's not his real personality. I think
But that's the thing, we don't know his real personality.
Yeah, we do, because
No,
the
we
way
don't.
he was as a child,
We saw him as
obviously
a child for 3 seconds.
This is what
saw him as an adult when he agreed with his friend that he was going to steal that object to help
Which
free
again
all of the
lasted
children.
for 3 seconds. Like, I need to see
The
that
point-
you're using the same excuse the Rumple people use. He does one good thing. Oh, yay! Rumple's a hero now. No,
I'm not saying that he is. I'm saying that there is potential in him. I would like to think that he's more of his mother than his father. I hope.
yeah. Well, given the fact that, spoiler alert, he's still fighting Emma in the finale, I'm gonna say no. Because
Well,
the Black Fairy even said at the end of the episode, she's like, there's still a part of you that wants to help me, even though, you're claiming you were trying to stop me. So
I know, but
no.
as long as she has his heart and she's controlling his every action, I mean,
Yeah, but the thing is, we've seen people fight the heart thing. Killian did it. Not for very long, but he did do it. So it is technically possible.
I know it's possible, but he is literally the only person I've seen in the 6 years of this show that's ever been able to even come close. Not one single person other than him has ever been able to fight it even for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm just
Him. But
I'm
that's because our pirate is an exceptionally strong man. I don't
I mean,
mean
I
strong
just
like physically, I mean strong of will.
I just still don't. I know I should feel sympathetic because he's being controlled and all this stuff. But for me, the heart rip control thing has been done too many times for me to even care.
I
I
know.
was just like, oh, yawn.
Just like curses on the show, a lot of their plot lines are overdone.
Yeah, it's a retread of an old plot. So they're trying to make Gideon sympathetic for when his ultimate villainy pops out in the finale. Everybody be like, "Oh no!" And I'm like, "Oh, I feel so bad for you, poor Rumbellers who want to believe in this kid." Because I'm like, "Oops, probably not."
Can,
Compelling if he was just a straight up villain.
speaking
For
of
me, anyway.
speaking of villains, can we agree that the Black Fairy is one of the best villains that come at the show? Like,
No.
She came in too late, though.
Not
but
really.
she's like, she came late, but she's impressive. She's crazier than Selena. Her creepy flirtatious ways still creepy the fuck out. And she's like has a purpose, but we don't know that yet. Like,
She's
there's some
had
mystery.
like next to no development. She's come in like they're saying too late for her for them to have time to develop her, and she's got that like obnoxious air about her that reminds me too much of Evil Queen. Not in season 1 where she was awesome, but like recently where she's just a fucking joke.
Well, not only that, but back with Pan, we had Pan for like 5 or 6 episodes before we found out that he was Rumple's dad. Like, we got to know Pan as a villain before we discovered the familial connection. We find out the very first episode where we see the Black Fairy that she's Rumple's mother, and then we don't see her again for like 7 episodes or something. And by the time, and then we're supposed to believe that she's the root of all evil, and that she created the dark curse that Rumple modified and made Emma the savior and all this stuff. And I'm just like, oh no, this is no. Emma, if you wanted to set up an ultimate villain for Emma and like an original one, you had to do better than this.
It should have been Rumple, because Rumple's always been the big bad ever. I mean, despite his ups and downs, he's always been pretty much the enemy throughout the show. It should have been him. I don't understand why it's not. I don't know why Adam and Eddie have this constant, desperate need to redeem the irredeemable. I just don't get it.
I mean, they do it with Bagel too, where they keep insisting that his choices are not his fault, and it's like, no, people, the Siltskin men need to take responsibility for their actions.
See, maybe it's just because I tend to like my villains more insidious, and I think a lot can be said for villains that ply their craft more psychologically than physically. That's why Pan, in my opinion of watching this show from day one, #1 villain by far. I have to give some of that as kudos to Robbie for a stellar acting. Some of that goes to the fact, the way that they chose to play it. Is that he didn't do anything overtly physical too much at first. It was more psychological. He got under Emma's skin just by taunting her, playing to her weaknesses, making her feel, more vulnerable than she was. So that to me is what makes a good villain, and how they play off of other people. That's why I didn't really like Hades. Not that Greg German's not a bad actor. It's just that they didn't do enough with him to make him really all that great. And all he was just flapping gums and talk, nothing else.
Yeah.
Zelina, I liked her in season 3 because she was finally somebody that could tell Regina to piss the fuck off. Like, really. Regina needed that bitch slap. And she was the one that could do it because she was the family member that Regina never realized she actually had. So that was kind of cool. But as the years wore on, she's the one and only villain that should stay a villain, that should not have gone good, because now that she's just boring as fuck.
I wouldn't say Zelina's good now. I'd say she's more neutral.
Oh.
She's neutral chaos.
The Snow Queen was a good villain because her story was gripping in an emotional way. Now, the Queens of Darkness were ridiculous. I'm sorry. That whole shit was ridiculous. Maleficent, I have to give Kristen Bauer props because she played that role. You didn't get to see her too much in season 1 because she was only in one episode. But the way they fleshed the character out, I'm not talking about when they brought her back to life, but like in the flashbacks when Regina initially found her and she was depressed and shit. I'm
still sad we didn't get Dragon Queen.
The way that she played it. I think that if she had the opportunity, that if they had gone and done a flashback a la the Sleeping Beauty film, and we could have really seen her would have done a great job with it.
Yeah.
I wish they had given.
Honestly,
I wish that she had more time with it, but
I miss Cora.
Oh yeah, and Cora. Cora is #2 for me because she's just out and out psychotic.
Yeah.
Psycho. Well, no, not
heartless.
Not psychotic, sociopathic, because she doesn't understand the consequences of her actions. She doesn't have, she claims to have emotion, but even in season 5, when she was trying to reunite Regina and, when she was trying to make peace with them, there was a level there that this didn't seem right to me. Like, I've always felt like emotionally she doesn't connect with people. She doesn't understand that when she hurts people, that it's wrong. Like, for her whole life, I get that she was from a broken home, her father was a drunk, and all this shit. I get it. But she's worked her entire life for power, who she steps on to get it. She even went against the Dark One himself, someone who could have snapped her neck right in front of his face. And the only reason he didn't do it was because somehow she managed to pull his heartstrings, literally.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, who my favorite short-term villain was? Cruella de Vil, because she was just crazy. There was nothing redeeming about her whatsoever. I'm like, can I just have a villain where I don't feel any sympathy for them whatsoever,
Oh
and
yeah,
they're just nuts?
she was the tried and true psychotic. Like no emotion, no nothing.
But
The only thing that she enjoyed was killing for the sake of killing, just because she could.
But that's what I'm saying. Now we've got the Black Fairy. We have no idea what the hell she wants other than to get out of her prison that she's mysteriously been in all this time. And does the Blue Fairy still have her wand? What the hell does that have to do with anything? And now she's using Gideon as her minion, and I'm supposed to care when we've barely heard of this chick until now. Now suddenly she's Rumple's mother, and I'm like, stop making everybody connected to everybody.
I just find it hard to believe that she's this, begetter of all darkness, darkness of darkness, most evil thing in all the realms. I'm like, bitch, you got the power of every single dark one, including Emma Swan and Killian Jones, blowing through your fucking body. She ain't the begetter of all goddamn darkness, asshole. You are.
Yeah, I mean that's why I wish they had gone with the Rumple as the
because the way that they played it out in season 5 and even at the end of season 4 was that the darkness was evil itself. So how can they say that she is more evil than that when that darkness literally exists to snuff out light?
Because they needed the Emma's ultimate villain to be a chick. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It just doesn't measure up. That her Black Fairy does not measure up to what Rumple is, to what the darkness is.
And now we're having the same issue where they've got a fabulous actor. I mean, Jamie Murray is fantastic in every role I've ever seen her in, and she's chewing the scenery like a pro here.
Mm-hmm.
But because I don't care about her. I mean, even Pan, I gave a shit about, even to the extent where I hated his guts. With Black Fairy, I'm just bored.
They've never given her any real backstory beyond the fact that she kidnaps children to mine her fairy dust.
Oh, she's gonna get her own episode here in a couple weeks, but I still don't care. And I don't think that one episode is gonna be enough to make me care.
Speaking of season 5, what did you think about Arthur and Nimue?
I liked Nimue as a villain.
Nimue was awesome.
Nimue was awesome because she was layered. Like, she wasn't always evil. She was a product of circumstance, of things that happened to her outside her control. Because of her village being burned down, she lost herself. And I think she was trying to recover, but some part of her never truly did. So when she had the opportunity to get her hands on that chalice, this is what happens when you don't deal with grief. She thought she had, but she didn't, and it consumed her. That's what that darkness feeds off of: anger, grief, revenge. It's like fucking Venom from Spider-Man, you know?
Yeah.
I always assumed that the power of immortality came with a price if you used it wrong, and that's why the Grail turned her into the Dark One, because Merlin chose the right path.
Right.
Didn't.
Mm-hmm.
If that's true, how in the hell did a bear become a Dark One? Because a bear cannot pick up a dagger and stab a person in the heart.
Who the hell knows? I think that was another situation where they were like, wouldn't it be cool if a bear was the Dark One? And somebody went, yeah, that's a great idea. And
much more like a warthog.
There's nobody in the room to go, no, guys, that's a dumb idea. Stop it.
I also like the way that they played the switcheroo thing on the Arthur story, because the Arthur and the Knights it's always been one of my favorite, like, fantastical / historical stories. Mm-hmm. And I really liked the flip that they put on it. I thought that Liam played it amazingly well. I wish that they would have done more with it. I think he was at heart a decent person, and that showed when he was killed. I think at heart he was a decent person. He just became corrupted by the darkness that was in the sword.
Okay, let's get back to the actual episode that we're supposed to be talking about. So Emma's pissed, y'all. Emma is super pissed. Like she knows
is.
that the he is responsible for her pirate being gone, and girlfriend is pissed.
Oh my
So-
Jesus. That first scene was fucking amazing. I was like, Emma, you go, girl, beat his ass.
I was like, that was
Beat his
the
ass.
Emma I needed to see last week.
Oh yeah.
That is
Driven.
the Emma that I miss. That's the part of season 1 Emma that I kind of miss. Her like kick assness, no prisoners.
And
I'm
now
gonna be
she's
a
got
bitch.
and now she's got magic to like throw people around like a rag doll, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah. I'm glad that she bitch slapped Gideon though. It was cool.
Oh, that was a right
The
punch.
only other time I've ever seen her this angry was when Henry
Yes.
nearly died in season 1 after eating the
Apple turnover.
poison apple turnover.
Yeah. And she
So-
made it pretty clear.
Only for your true loves, yo.
I'm good.
If Henry died, so would Regina.
Yes, I miss all
And if
that.
Hook dies, so will
Gideon.
Gideon. Faux show.
And
I'm ready.
so I still don't understand how this whole spell works, or when the wannabe, this is what I'm calling him now, the wannabe had a chance to cast this spell and what it does, because he said that he cast it on Killian himself, but then other people are like, no, he cast it on Soderbergh. I'm like, I don't know what you did. I don't care. And can't we just burn the tissue that, because haven't the tears dried up?
I don't know.
Like, tissue's dry. So how does this work?
Yeah, that's
Well,
not-
if it's just a
Set the napkin on fire? What is going on?
well, if it's just a spell component, then I mean, he got the napkin right after. I mean, she cried into it. She left it on the bar, and then she walked away. So I mean, if he had all the other components that he needed right there, he could have cast it, quick.
Well, okay then. But still, what I'm saying is the napkin dries out. So the tears don't exist anymore. So shouldn't that be enough to break the spell?
No, because I mean, the object itself is the focus.
Then why were they still carrying around the tissue? It was there when they were at the sorcerer's house to, undo the spell, which I never bought for a second.
Ostensibly because it was the only way to undo the spell, which got
A napkin
fucked
that's
up
already dry.
because now it's burned to a crisp.
That makes no sense.
And one of them might have sneezed.
Well,
It could be snot. I mean,
Ew.
Yeah.
I'm sure he told her that to make her compliant because he knew that she would only cooperate with him if there was a way that she could get Killian back. So he sold her
Leverage.
some bullshit story about, as long as I have your tears, it'll work. He might not have even needed it. He might have just used it just for a prop, just to make her think
that's what I'm
that
saying.
there
This
was
whole
something
thing
for it.
makes no sense to me. It's just an excuse to keep Killian out of the action, which I hate.
But he
But I
obviously-
did appreciate Emma fighting for him this episode. So yay.
For all we know, when he appeared to Killian on the Nautilus, he could have cast it right there. He's powerful enough that he doesn't really need spell components or words. He can just do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So he probably
Anyway.
that's what he probably did.
This is a question I've been asking all the seasons of Once Upon a Time to the date. Besides Henry, who's a good person and a hero, why does everybody in Rumpelstiltskin's family think that killing, blackmail, and murder and having all the people take your fault is a good thing? Why?
I don't know.
That family is fucked up. But
Incapable of taking responsibility for their own fuck ups.
So okay. The Black Fairy needed Emma to die to absorb her magic into to break open her prison. So Gideon's like, okay, I can't take you on hand, one on one. You're too powerful.
So instead, they pull a Buffy.
So yeah, so instead, I'm gonna have Shelob come and kill you.
So they pulled a Buffy.
And she died for 3 seconds.
Being suffocated by the spider's webbing, and it was just enough time for the Black Fairy to squeeze through the little back door.
Okay, who expected Rumple to turn up?
Not me.
I didn't
Anybody?
even know he knew that they were there. Not
Anybody?
At all.
Bueller?
No,
Mm.
no.
No.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I didn't even think that he gave a shit, to be honest.
And then Rumple's good deed lasted for about 3 seconds. because based on the information Emma has right now, she was totally justified in saying, hey, your kid fucked up. He's tried to kill me twice. I ain't letting him try to kill me again. Based on the information she had at the time, that is the absolute right call to make.
You know what I don't get? When they were facing off against that spider.
Yes.
We're talking about dude who has all the powers of every Dark One that ever lived. Can subdue a magical fucking spider. What the fuck?
He was holding the dagger at it like that was gonna help. I'm like, Emma was the one who actually subdued the thing and then stomped on it.
I mean, this is the dude that loves to brag about, oh, you can't fucking touch me because I'm the most powerful being in all the realms, and he stands there like a deer caught in headlights.
This is weird.
Fuck, dude. Like, what happened to you? Where the hell did you go? Really?
I don't know. I miss Badass Rumble. I mean, at least when he was straight up evil, I could respect that. And I have to accept the fact that I'm never getting a magical showdown on this show.
Because he could probably have destroyed that spider in like 5 seconds. Easily.
But no, instead he makes Emma do it with her weight magic and then lets her stomp on it.
I mean, I get why he's not trying to directly physically harm Gideon because Gideon is his son and he wants to save him. I get that. But, like, seriously, are you just not wanting to try? Do you just not really care?
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that I can't believe you're scared because it's the Dark One. You can always claim you're never scared of anything.
He's a coward.
Yes. Yeah. Once a coward, always a coward.
Yep.
And his power doesn't change that. He hides behind it instead of being a real man.
And Belle still keeps sucking out his dick and still comes back to him.
Please, no.
Stop with the bad imagery. I do not need that in my brain. I need brain bleach. Brain bleach.
I do not understand how this woman can be the begetter of all darkness. I do not understand this. There was darkness in the world before she came into existence. There will be darkness after.
At least as far as we know. I mean, maybe she's Zeus's kid or something. I don't know.
Oh, no.
They never really told us where fairies come from.
Um,
and apparently we're supposed to see the black fairy, blue fairy like showdown or something. And I'm like, please just don't tell me they're fighting with swords because that would be lame. Like, why are we having magical, powerful people fighting with swords? They have magic, you numbskulls.
Yeah.
I mean, I get why she can't leave her realm because you remember the blue fairy had possession of her wand.
Okay, but what do we think? What do we think of the theory floating around that Tiger Lily is the one who banished her there?
How the hell would she have the ability to do that?
No,
I don't know.
Tinkerbell fairies.
Season 3, it was Blue who did it.
I'm pretty sure it's probably Blue.
Bro, honey, do you realize how many retcons there have been on this show?
Fair enough.
I mean, I wanted to be the blue fairy too, so we can get this shady blue thing out of the way once and for all. But again, there has to be. I mean, they have to have some reason to bring Tiger Lily into it, other than they wanted to hit one more Neverland character before the show ended. Because if that's their only reason, then I'm calling foul because that's lame.
I'm calling foul on the fact that apparently these writers can't seem to pace properly. Because they had the scene at the beginning where Emma and Snow walk into a shop to get answers, saying that they're going to do whatever they have to do to get Hook back. And then for the rest of the episode, Snow disappears.
Yes.
I thought that they were supposed to do this mother-daughter thing to find. She just poof, vanishes.
Yeah, she didn't pop up again until her daughter almost died. At least she
Like-
popped up then and didn't go to Regina.
Shouldn't she have been
True.
with Emma? We did this. I mean, I mean, why insert her? One of those. I don't want to believe that this was maybe a scene that that they didn't edit properly, because you remember, what was it, back in like season 4, where they had Hook go into Rumple's and he was talking to him about how to
Yes.
find Emma, and then he walks back out with the globe, but there was no
No,
reason
season
for him to have
5.
because they had cut the scene but didn't edit all of it out.
Yes.
So they had the scene with him walking with the globe,
the
for which there was no context.
Yes.
I'm almost afraid that they did the same thing here. That they put in like an extra. There was no reason for there to be an extra scene.
Yep.
It wouldn't be
Okay.
the first time.
So before we get to Killian's misadventures, because those were hilarious, let's talk about this Regina Henry author shenanigans.
Operation
Well,
Morals
judging by that,
again.
I think no one was impressed.
Because I'm tired of them doing this shit where they just invent crap out of nowhere. All of the other authors that came before him never had any issue about writing of symbols or some shit.
And how the hell would Isaac know this anyway if it never happened to anyone else?
At least he hasn't. Yeah, he said that he's never known it to have happened to any other author, even himself. But he can only assume that it's because that Henry's getting to the end of his book. I'm like, you've written how many books? How many books have ended that you've already written?
Well, and not only that, but how many blank books were there in the Sorcerer's House?
A lot.
It's
Like-
not the ending to every story. It's just maybe the
Like-
ending to a couple of stories.
And that don't make no sense because, I mean, this is Henry, the same kid who was extolling the virtues of the sequel to Killian Jones back at the beginning of this season.
But
Let's go see Empire Strikes Back. Let's go see, Indiana Jones and
Godfather
the Temple
2.
of Doom. Blah blah. The
But
Godfather 2. Thank you. So it's
Welcome.
I guarantee you that in these last couple of episodes, this like D plot will probably disappear. Because they have too much other stuff going on to worry about Henry's garbage.
Well, no, I mean, they just made Henry the author in an effort to make him relevant, but his being the author has had virtually no relevance to the story since he brought everybody back from the book.
Well, they have to
Realm,
keep
at
him in
least.
there somehow, I guess.
I mean, for this reason alone, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I almost do hope that guy they cast is adult Henry, so I don't have to continue to put up with this shit. As fuck.
Mm.
That we will
I do-
discuss. That we will discuss in the spoiler section of this podcast.
Yes, bro, go ahead.
I do like that Isaac's been locked up this whole time.
Yes, he deserved it.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, okay, so he wants a sports car, he wants a storybook, and he wants Hamilton tickets. Which, Adam, why? Why, Adam? And to make it a joke, that's
It happened
100%
18
okay. But to then go on Twitter and say that Hamilton happened 18 months earlier in the Once universe than it did in real
So it
life,
fits the timeline.
that is
What?
ridiculous. Because you can't say that Frozen came out at the same time in our world as it did in the Once world, and then say Hamilton came out 18 months earlier than it did in real life. You either be consistent, or don't put the joke in, or don't apologize for the joke. Rant over.
Selective history.
It's like, this is
Speaking
not
of-
Sleepy Hollow, guys.
Speaking of
Lord.
Frozen,
Mhm.
I'm surprised that Blackbeard wasn't rotting away in some Arendelle prison or something after he tried to kill Elsa's sister and brother-in-law.
Well, you know Blackbeard. He's a pirate and a snake. He's very good
Maybe
at
he broke out.
escaping.
probably.
Mm.
Let's hope so, because I would like to think that Elsa locked him up, or at least tried.
After she shrank the Jolly Roger.
With
And
Ariel.
Honestly,
Frank
the whole
Navarro.
Hamilton thing, I don't even think he would have said anything about it if that fan hadn't been like, well, that doesn't make sense in the timeline of when Hamilton actually came out. After
And then
6
he's like,
seasons,
#timeline police.
6 seasons, you not realize by now, and the fact that at this point their time cards just say many years ago, they've given up. They no longer care about time frame.
Yes, and the fact that they keep inserting flashbacks where there isn't really room for flashbacks, because let's not even talk about the one with Regina or with the Evil Queen and Killian and his dad, because that shit don't make no sense.
Yep.
Or apparently Snow and Charming had a chance during the curse to go
Well,
and meet.
We'll talk
Wow.
about that when we get to the spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
We got a question about that. We'll talk about it when we get to the spoilers. So Isaac's still a dick.
I can't
Shocker.
believe that little bitch thought that he could get all that stuff, and all he wound up getting was a station wagon.
He didn't even give us any answers.
He just said the final battle at the end of the book. The final battle will begin with Emma.
To be fair, is just the only reason they're doing it this way is to try and still make us believe that Emma's gonna die.
Maybe what Henry wrote is a spell that can vanquish the Black Fairy or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm like, it would. I mean, if you had put it in Kryptonian or something, I would have appreciated that better. Just have him mysteriously writing in Kryptonian.
Like that's
Superman is a thing.
Yeah,
Well-
Maybe like comic books.
yeah,
Where's Batman to decode this shit?
yeah.
Whatever language it is, I mean, Regina is fairly experienced when it comes to magical languages, and when she looked at it, she didn't even know what it was. So whatever it is, it doesn't come from any realm or any magical tome that she's ever seen.
Okay, how hilarious would it be if Killian Jones knew what it was?
I'm surprised what they teach in the Royal Navy.
Totally.
So that whole storyline was pretty much useless. So let's get to the good stuff.
Yay.
Speaking of Killian Jones.
Have you noticed at this point that he's just like not having anybody's shit
He gives no
right
fucks.
now? He's like, you know what? I don't give a
Point where he
damn.
gives no fucks. He just walks right up to Blackbeard as poker table, dumps some jewels, and says, "Hey, bitches, I'm back."
Yo.
Blackbeard just gives him this look like, are you trying to aggravate me? He goes, yes.
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
And thank God
Like really, his
for the return
guard
of
is
sassy
empty.
Killian Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I almost wish that Blackbeard hadn't rode off. I like them together as like a sassy bro TP kind of.
It feels like such a waste. Like, I was thoroughly entertained by all of their scenes because they both clearly loathe each other and they have history, and they reference the first time that Killian gave up the oh my god, they've referenced the first time Killian gave up the Jolly Roger to get back to Emma. Now he's like, hey, I'm gonna give you my ship in return for a magic bean, but oh wait, my ship is in the realm that I need to get to. So even though I lost, it doesn't matter.
I think the best line was when Blackbeard goes, is this for the same woman you were talking about before? Is I perhaps you should keep the ship. And he's like, I don't remember asking you for your opinion. That was great.
Yeah.
And then Blackbeard's like, you cheated. He's like, you had 6 aces in your deck.
And I'm not as drunk as your other opponents, asshole.
I'm like, can they just play with loaded dice? Can I just watch those two pirates play with loaded dice for all time?
I like how even if Killian lost, he would win because he had a plan.
Yes, homeboy always has a plan. Just
Yes.
like late at Lake Nostos when he didn't kill Emma, and we all have been saying for years that he threw that fight because homeboy had a plan B. Sure enough, he had a plan B.
I just hope
Plan-
Blackbeard gets fucked or eaten by a Kraken while he's in that boat because he's a dick. He'll kill in the hands of the Lost Boys.
Okay. First of all, where the hell is Blackbeard going to go in a rowboat? Neverland is another realm surrounded by water.
He's
I do not-
obviously never been to Neverland and therefore
Okay.
has no idea how dangerous
Well-
those seas
Well,
are.
okay. Here's the thing, though. Was Natalie Abrams asked Em and Eddie about Neverland, and it's clear they didn't think about this before they did it because they were trying to say, "Oh, Neverland doesn't have immortality anymore," and it's like Enchanted Forest adjacent now or some bullshit. I'm like, dudes, just stop talking.
Well,
please.
apparently they have daytime now.
Mm.
It has daytime now. The Lost Boys are crazy.
Well, it originally did have daytime because when Killian and Liam first went there,
Yeah, I
when it
don't
was
want
just
daytime.
Pan,
I don't know
there
what
was
people are
daytime.
talking
I
about.
think that as Pan became progressively more evil, it darkened, like the darkness pervaded the entire land.
I think
Yeah.
you're giving Em and Eddie too much credit there, dear.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But as for Enchanted Forest, no, because it's not a physical realm. I mean, it's a physical realm, but not in the physical that we know it, like Enchanted Forest and
Yeah,
realms. It's not like that. It's a physical realm that was born purely of magic.
yeah. I wish they would have just not answered that question. Just said, "Hey, we don't know." Just admit you don't think about shit, guys. Just be honest and say, "Hey, we didn't really think about that. We just thought it would be fun to send Killian back to Neverland."
So the Lost Boys that are there are the ones that are
The ones that didn't come with them,
the most
when
loyal
they
to
took
Pan that
everybody
didn't
else,
leave.
yeah.
Okay.
So
And now they're following the leader, the leader, the leader.
so
And-
they chase Blackbeard and Killian through the forest. Blackbeard takes the rowboat, and the episode ends with Killian Jones running down the beach.
A la Jack Sparrow running from savages.
Yeah, my problem is, I think this show plays Killian for laughs about 10 too many times. Really crazy about how many times he gets played for laughs. It bugs me.
Yeah, I'm over how many times he gets slapped, punched, kicked, laid out, knocked unconscious, drugged, poisoned,
Controlled by heart.
controlled by heart, you know, made to look like a simpering coward in an alternate, realm. Like, even, I mean, it's just annoying because I don't think people give Killian enough credit. I remember reading a meta about this a couple years ago where someone was trying to the notion that Killian was the dumbest villain of the bunch, and she had a lot of good points that actually supports him being probably the smartest because he's been around for so long. No one gives him that credit.
But here's the thing though. They did this idiotic shit in the same episode where they had him instantly realize why the portal took them to Neverland instead of the Land Without Magic. Like he figured out right away that Gideon must have done a spell to stop him from getting home. Like he recognized that right away, and then you're having him get duped by Blackbeard, getting hit in the back of the head, and then getting chased down the beach by a bunch of rabid Lost Boys. Next episode, spoiler alert, he's still running.
And then, gets a blow dart to the neck by Tiger Lily.
She
For
didn't
his
even
troubles.
blow it at him. She literally stabs him in the neck.
I mean, I get there's probably bad blood, and they've got some shit to work out because hey, you can't have a Killian centric without recycling age old bullshit about who's the next person that he's pissed off. because there's nothing more to his character than the laundry list of people that he's pissed off, right?
Yep.
The only thing that should be done with Killian's neck is Emma giving him a hickey.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Can we please stop attacking the man's neck, please? That would be swell.
If he had any fucks left at all in that garden, by the time he gets to the Lost Boys, that garden is when he came, there was like at least 15 Lost Boys there, and he's just like, you know what? All right, y'all want some treasure? Y'all want some fucking rum? Because like I don't really even give a shit right now. I just need to get home.
Yeah, he's out of fucks. Oh, and I guarantee you, he would have taken them all on and won, because he's a badass like that. And please, dear Lord, can I have my badass Killian Jones back, please?
He might not necessarily won. You forget. He knows for a fact the Lost Boys tipped their arrows with dream shade and their swords, which makes them deadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that didn't stop him from saying, "Hey, I'm going to take you all on at once."
I'm crossing my fingers and hoping to God that Tiger Lily did not tip her blow dart.
No, she didn't.
Dream shade.
Whatever it is, it knocked people out. Dream shade doesn't do that.
It was probably just some like sleep potion or some shit, but
like
I don't understand why she would. I mean, I know a lot of people said this would happen, but why, if she supposedly wants to cause trouble badly, not just let the Lost Boys take him down, unless she wants the satisfaction of doing it herself, which, okay, that's lame.
But we don't have the context yet. We have to find out what their past issues are.
I don't think they have any past issues. I think she's just pissed because it's like Eddie said. He worked for Pan. She hated Pan. That's enough.
I'm glad there's nothing romantic happening with Captain Hook and Tiger Lily because it would have been fucked up.
Thank you, baby Jesus.
I'm glad they're not pulling the soap opera shit that this little girl who's gonna be in the finale is Cook and Tiger Lily's daughter. I'm so glad.
Literally, like when the minute the hot seat came out, Mai sent me a text. She's like, "We are saved. We are saved." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she sent me this quote. I was like, "Oh, thank you, baby Jesus."
I just hope that they play her properly, because this show has not had the best reputation for dealing with characters of color.
Well, at least they did the courtesy of casting a Native American actress.
I'm not talking about that.
That's a step in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about that. You remember when she saved him from the Lost Boys and she was holding her blowgun in one hand, and then she grabs it and she's got her arms held out in front of her?
Yeah.
That is a very stereotypical, like, not so good way of portraying Native American people.
Well, I'm just saying it's right now, as of right now, it's a step up from what they did to Lily, where they had a Latina actress play her as a teenager and then cast a white girl. So, step in the right direction.
But I guess we'll have to wait for more context to see how this actually goes.
I mean, it can't be any worse than that wretched Pan movie.
True. Maybe, you know, they might say something. It might have something to do with she made a deal with Hook that she knew he was going to leave Neverland for good. Maybe he promised to take her with him. The promise, because usually, or well, maybe not in like an intimate way, but maybe like if she didn't have any members of her tribe left and she was all alone, that maybe.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That something like that smacks too closely of romance. They might not go, because they've been very about that, often to, I think, to Killian's detriment. That I get they want to make him the perfect love interest for Emma, but to kind of casually imply he's been celibate for 300 years seems insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm certain that when he did his food and supply run for Pan and he stopped off at those bars and those pubs, I'm sure that he had his share of
Well, I'm certain.
stands and
Well, I'm
trysts and
certain he
stuff.
did too. But the show has been very, I mean, to the point of being ridiculous about it. To the point that whenever we see him in the past, and he's in a room with a female character who speaks, to make sure that it's not romantic in any way. Because I get for a lot of it's supposed to be that it's not romantic and that he doesn't realize he can still have romantic feelings until he meets Emma. That's fine. But there's a difference between romance and lust.
And yet,
For him to like have had a one night stand.
yeah,
A nightcap.
we see this, we know this,
Mhm.
and yet in their like alternate reality version of alternate facts, in alternate fact world, where the Swan Queen people live and all the anti-hookers live, they continually call him a dirty, nasty, STD filled pirate who slept with every female that breathed because he's a pirate. I'm like, really?
I mean, we can't even get Captain Swan having sex, for the love of God. And they're in a committed relationship, and we're just supposed to assume they did it. Since, they're living together now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying to say that he's some dirty, nasty, like, man whore. And yet, hold up. He's not the only pirate that's been featured on this show. And they don't even show the other pirates, like Blackbeard, who's decidedly more nasty, is not even shown mixing it up with women.
I mean, literally the only time we've seen Killian sort of flirting with the female folk who are not Mila or Emma was in when they were in the past.
Right.
Arm on either side of him while he was playing cards. And that was
right.
it. And as soon as Emma showed up, them bitches were gone.
But gone. And he was looking at her tits the entire time.
No, he wasn't. No, Emma? No, he was looking up at her face.
He was looking at her face. The other girls, he really wasn't paying much.
No, he wasn't really paying much
while they were there. And once Emma walked over, they literally didn't even exist anymore.
Oh, one of them glared daggers at Emma because I think she thought she was going to get lucky that night.
I was like, honey, he's like drunk off of his ass and really is not paying all that much attention to you.
Now,
I was looking at her like, by the time you get him up to the bedroom, he's probably going to pass out.
No, at that point when Emma walks up, I don't think he's drunk yet. Because she had to work hard to get him drunk.
Yeah. Talking to him, showing her cleavage, and just acting all flirty.
I think after the girls left and they were alone, that's when she really worked on getting him drunk. I think he had consumed alcohol, but of course his tolerance is such. He's got this Herculean tolerance, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, well, God. Centuries of drinking will do that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not gonna get into that because I'm just gonna have a whole rant on my hands about how they've dealt with Killian's may or may not be drinking problem.
I'm just tired of them trying to use him for comic fodder and making him look, by other outside actions, trying to make him look or seem less capable than he actually is. I would venture to say that Killian is one of the most intelligent, and I'm not talking because this is Colin and Jones, is one of the most intelligent, clever, like savvy, smart characters on the show. This man didn't survive 300 years for nothing.
I mean, give me comic relief where he figure out the modern world. I'm down with that.
Yeah,
that's fine.
The man did not survive 300 years for nothing.
Well, I know that, and you know that, but I mean, frankly, I blame Colin because he's so good at all the stuff. He's good at the dramatic shit. He's good at the action shit. He's apparently good at the dancing until he falls and breaks his foot.
He's good in the kissing.
He's
good in the
good
kissing.
at the comic stuff. He's just good at
And
everything. So they just throw everything at him and say, "Hey, go to town."
And as Kelly Jones was adamant to say in this episode, Captain Hook always survives.
Unless he's getting stabbed by his girlfriend.
Hmm.
Well, he asked
Even
her
still, Captain Hook always survives. He's still here.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Now, as for current spoilers, you guys read that Deadline article that
Well, hold
season
on.
7
Wait. We have a question about this next episode. Let's talk about that first
Okay.
before we get into season 7 stuff. So we all saw the promo
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
with snowing and the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. I don't watch
Okay.
promos.
Well, bro, you may want to close your ears.
Nah, it's cool.
Okay, so this is from Anonymous. So we can all agree that Snowing had a chance to be with little Emma, but chose to save their kingdom and make Emma the savior instead.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, so what do we think is going on?
Well, you and I were discussing this
we were
before.
discussing this before we started to record. So let's recap.
I'm hoping it's not what we think it is. I'm really, really hoping it's not.
Because my dear friend suggested this theory, right? Like almost as soon as she saw the episode, she's like, Snow and Charming were totally the family who gave her up, or they were the ones who convinced the family who had her to give her up and put her back in the system. And I was like, nah, they aren't that clever.
Yep.
But then we got the press release, and I was like, oh shit.
They're gonna do the thing.
I bet they did do that just because. And here's the thing. If it was present day Snow and Charming like going to Gold and saying, hey, can we do this thing to save Emma's life? But then, ultimately decided against it because present day Emma has already said, hey, I don't mind being the savior. If this is my fate, then I'm going to like fight this out. This is my battle, blah, blah, blah. This is my choice. Then that would be okay. But am I the only one who saw Gold with the longer hair?
No.
So it's longer hair. So if it's longer hair Gold, it has to be before this season, which means it happened before, sometime after the curse broke, but sometime between the curse breaking and Rumble cutting his hair.
Yeah.
Means that Snow and Charming have once again tried to take away Emma's agency.
Why?
Why do they keep doing this?
And I'm not surprised that Regina and Selena are helping this unwillingly.
Did the Lily thing not teach them anything?
No.
But Charming was in a coma.
That's what I'm saying. It has to have been sometime after Emma broke the curse.
Well, there was so much going on. Season 2, they were in the Enchanted Forest, and they came back and had to deal with Cora, and then they had to go to Neverland with Pan, and then Zelena.
I mean, there's a lot of dead area in 2B, or it could have been in season 4 when Gold was trying to turn her dark.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's the more likely, because Snow was so terrified.
But if it's
Emma
in season,
was
but that's
find
the thing.
out about them.
If it's in season 4, when we found out about the Lily thing, that makes it doubly worse because they would have actively been keeping a secret from her at that point. And now they're keeping this from her, or did they forget about doing this?
The only other option I can think of that would really give them reason to have enough emotional desperation might be sometime in 5A, before they figured out how to cast the spell to take them to Camelot, when they were still trying to figure out where she was. So like desperate to change her fate from taking on the darkness like that they might have done something stupid. But season 4B seems like a better lock, like when Emma was not speaking to them because she was upset about what they had done, or possibly before she found out, when they were paranoid that that someone was going to try to turn her dark, or what did we do? We messed with her life, blah blah
But that's
blah.
what I'm saying, is that none of these scenarios are making Snow and Charming look out to be, I mean, very good parents.
I know.
Number
It only
one,
makes it
because
worse.
they're not respecting their daughter's agency. Yet the press release is trying to frame it like they made this huge sacrifice. Huge sacrifice would have been actually sticking to their guns and making sure their daughter wasn't the savior. Because then they would have been giving up their kingdom. Because that was the whole point of sending Emma away, not just to protect her from the curse, but to make sure she was able to break the curse for everybody else. Emma said it herself a dozen times that they put the greater good before her.
I had the misfortune of seeing the script tease, and what it indicates is that Leroy is not uncursed yet, which is why he's flirting with Snow. But apparently Mary Margaret and David have somehow come out of their cursed selves.
Oh God, please tell me they did not fuck up season 1 like that, please.
I really
that makes no
hope
sense,
not.
because the only one that could do that was
That makes no sense.
No,
I know,
because
but
that is beyond fucked up, because the ending of season 1 was so powerful and so intrinsic to the core of what this show was. What she went through, almost losing Henry? Hell no.
And not only
Hell
that,
no.
but then you fuck up Snow and Charming's reunion at the end of the season when he's like, Snow, Charming, and they run to each other and kiss. Like, that totally takes away from the power of that moment if they knew who they were before.
Because the entirety of the first season was an emotional between will she or won't she break the curse, and can Snow and Charming just be together already?
Oh my God!
So
please,
to fuck that up
tell
would
me
make that season finale moment of the end of season 1 anticlimactic. It would take everything away from it. That was one of the most powerful moments of the whole series.
I'm hoping and praying that you are mistaken.
The only other moment that was
Me
more
too.
powerful than that was the very first scene in the very first episode, where Charming is riding the horse down that pathway, and he finds her in the forest and he kisses her awake.
Yeah.
It
That
was
and the
like,
Captain Swan reunion at the end of when he comes back from the dead.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
just
seriously, if
can't-
they fuck up season 1 like this, I'm going to lose my shit.
And I'm going to go with you to Adam and Eddie's house and beat them with a bat.
you do know they don't live in the same house.
Yes, I know. It's a euphemism, bro.
Okay.
It's me venting my frustration on these two goons.
I mean, there's some things that they could retcon that I wouldn't care about, but this, no.
If they retcon
No.
season 1 like this, I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
care.
because I love season 1.
I mean, the only flaw with season 1 is that Killian Jones is not in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
I
Other
love
than that,
Season
it's
1 was
perfect.
season 1 was pretty much, yeah. But I was more of a general audience fan. It wasn't till season 2 came around and Hook showed up I really became a fan.
Obsessed person. Yes, I feel you. That's exactly
I
what
was-
happened to me.
But still, there's reasons why season 1 struck an emotional chord with so many people, why the show became such a smash hit when it did.
Yeah.
And if you take that away from, I've latched onto those moments from this show. If you take that away, do something like that and take away one of the most important moments of the entire show's history, then fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, fuck
Yeah, at
you,
that point, your
'cause-
show kind of deserves to be canceled there, bro.
Yeah.
Bros.
If you do that, don't even worry about another season, because I'm done.
So we're currently praying that Ro is wrong.
Yes.
I would hope so.
I can only go off of what I've seen in the sneak peek.
I did not see that script tease, and now I'm glad I didn't, because I would be more pissed off.
Oh,
I am.
yeah.
I mean, but it doesn't make sense. How would they have gotten uncursed? She's the only one that could do it. There's no way.
Well,
The
the
whole point of
episode is
season 1 was leading up to her
Oh.
doing the true love's kiss to break that curse.
Well,
It would
Yep.
not only would it totally retcon what Snow and Charming went through, but it would totally retcon Swan has gone through her entire life. Because if they found some way around it, then that would mean that they didn't even need her. So she was made to suffer as an unwanted child her entire life for nothing.
It makes them no better than Bagel or August or the
Exactly.
Snow Queen or anybody else who's fucked Emma over before she got to Storybrooke.
and the Evil
It
Queen.
makes me want, if that is really what happened, it makes me want to have her take Henry, take Killian, get on the Jolly Roger, and go. Just go somewhere. Get the fuck away from these people who clearly do not give a shit about you.
Yeah.
this will be an interesting next episode.
Oh my god. I mean,
Yeah.
okay.
Are we getting our pre-episode ranting in now?
No, I mean, what they did with Lily and her was bad enough, but it could be forgiven because they did what they had to do to become heroes afterwards. But if they did this to her, oh my god, if they left her like that when they didn't need to, I hope she never speaks to them ever again. I hope she takes that ship, and leaves Storybrooke forever.
But you know she won't. We already know she won't.
She's getting married.
She's
Well,
getting
they're the
married
ones
and
who are
they're
leaving.
there.
And
I know, but
thanks for coming, Swan.
I know, but
But they're not. But they're moving into a farmhouse, and I'm pretty sure it's still near town. It's not like they're moving to another continent. They're moving down with you, Ro. That's what's happening. The Snow and
Oh,
Charming
that's
house
all
is
I need.
Australia.
I just can, as a mother, I could never imagine making a child suffer needlessly.
But again, this is what I keep saying: is that Snow and Charming have always put the quote unquote greater good ahead of Emma's welfare. They always have. And the one time
There's
they
such a-
didn't, they fucked it up.
Yeah, there's such a thing as being too good. You lose perspective.
I know, and you know what's even more sick is the fact that when Neil was born, they did everything that they could. They went out of their way when they were down in the underworld to do what, to finish their mission so they could get back to him as soon as possible because they didn't want to leave him.
Not only that. Remember they did that whole shenanigans with the phone booth and shit so that he could hear their voices.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't forget them, even though he's an infant and has no idea what the fuck they're saying. But yet they couldn't do something like that for their own daughter.
But hey, you
When
know what? She's fine. She'll find us. You know what? Fuck you both.
Oh my god. If this show makes me hate Snow and Charming before the end, I'm gonna be really pissed off.
Me too.
Because I love Josh Dallas.
I mean,
do not want this to
I
happen.
get that Snow and Charming were between a rock and a hard place. I get it. The queen was about to curse them. I feel like if Emma had not been born as early as she was, that maybe they could have escaped.
Well, no. If fuckboy Geppetto had been honest and said that, hey, two people could get through here and hadn't dawdled his way through putting the damn wardrobe together, Snow and Charming could have gone through before the curse even got there. But no, he had to be fucking around. I had to send his stupid kid through.
They could have gone in while Snow was still pregnant.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Snow's pregnant. She and Charming go through. Boom. Problem solved.
Yeah. And the three of them went to Storybrooke.
And remember how pissed off Snow was when she found out Geppetto had lied about how many the thing would go through? She punched him in the face.
Because
It's more of a slap.
Whatever.
because he took away the chance that she could have had to be
She
with her
got-
child.
She got violent, and now you're expecting me to. And now you're expecting me to just forget about that. That's saying that no, wait, Snow had a chance to be with Emma before that, and just said, fuck it." Like what?
Mm.
But this makes no sense.
Wow, I really shouldn't talk.
No, you should, because I need to be prepared for these things.
You know what? I think maybe we shouldn't get too worked up until we get the context. We don't. Right now, we're just. This is all speculation. It's just.
Yeah, I'll spec.
Lisa, dear. Every single time someone has said that, the context has been worse.
I know. I don't want to believe this because I don't want to believe this because I mean this is Snow and Charming, and you would like to think better of them, but because they've always been marketed on this show as being the hero of heroes.
Well, on the plus side, we have 10 people listening to us right this second who are probably like, "What the hell is going on?" Hello, people.
All I gotta say is this, and you think Killian Jones is a fucking villain?
Oh my god.
Lord, get some perspective,
I
people.
can't even. Okay. So to get into the season 7 spec you wanted to talk about earlier.
Yeah, the Deadline articles, most of it was kind of a rehash of stuff that has already been put out before, that they've kind of whittled it supposedly down to Robert, Carlisle, Lana, and Colin and Jen. Still they're like at the last bit of the negotiations right now.
Yeah, to me that made it sound like they need all 4 of them, or if they don't get all 4 of them, they won't be back.
And the
But
EW
if they do get
article,
all 4 of them, they will be back.
Yeah, the EW article that was included said that it seems like it's pretty much a lock that once we'll go into season 7, but it will be completely different from what we're used to.
Well, I don't know that completely different.
Well, they said it's going to be a complete shakeup. Like everything's going to be changed.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That I mean, I've heard rumors that they might not film in Vancouver anymore.
Yeah, someone said they were looking on what was it, Jen's Instagram or Twitter, whatever, and she took Vancouver off. It wouldn't surprise me.
Well, Lucifer, as an example, Lucifer used to film in Vancouver. They're going to film their next season in Los Angeles because Vancouver is getting too expensive. Because lots of shows film in Vancouver, and it's just too expensive. So
it wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
it wouldn't surprise me at all if they
if they only have to pay for 4 main actors instead of the large ensemble that they used to have.
Yeah.
And the show might not necessarily be in Storybrooke. It might be like a location change show-wise. Then they might not need to film in Vancouver anymore because they have probably also cheaper.
To be fair, they already have most of Storybrooke built in sets.
This is true.
So they could just take the sets to Los Angeles, disassemble them, take them to LA, boom. Or rebuild them in
Supergirl.
Yeah, well, Supergirl did the opposite. They went from LA to Vancouver to be with the rest of the CW shows.
And as for like outside exterior stuff, I'm sure that they could find ways to film exterior shots without having to literally film in Houston itself.
Or they could just go up there once a month and just film all they need over 2 days or something.
Right.
Do that. But yeah, I mean, either way, or hell, they might all be moving to the Enchanted Forest. Who the hell knows?
Or they could just take, the stock footage that they have of everything, of all the exterior stuff that they've done and just kind of Photoshop it a little bit.
Hey, maybe all our favorite fairy tale characters are moving to New York. They LA subs for New York all the time.
Mm-hmm. Who knows?
I mean, seriously.
It didn't seem, based on the finale spoilers we got, it did not seem like anybody was leaving. Well,
no, well, yeah, but I think what the finale is designed to do is to show everybody getting their happy ending in case the show doesn't come back. Like it's giving everybody like an end, but it's still a potential for a jumping off point for a potential season 7.
For all we know, I mean, if it is like 10, 15 years in the future and Henry has grown up, we're talking about someone who's probably going to become an accomplished author in the real world. No doubt he's probably not going to want to live the rest of his life in Storybrooke.
Well, no, but then my question is, how does he get to be all cynical and shit?
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Although New York tends to do that to people.
Maybe he went off to college and met someone there, and he decided that he couldn't bring her back to Storybrooke because his life was too crazy. So he decided to, move out. And, Emma and Regina didn't want to be away from him. So Killian and Emma and Regina, as his immediate family, move out of Storybrooke to be closer to him. They didn't want to move because they have Neil. That would be too much for them to do, and she could always come back and visit. Now Rumple, the only thing I can think of him living there just because this motherfucker is immortal and it's impossible to fucking kill. So
and Belle will go with him.
Well, and like I was saying before, Emma, Hook, Regina, and Rumple are the 4 most popular characters. So if you're going to do some kind of reboot, you kind of need those characters to build off of. Otherwise, you're going to alienate too much of the audience.
Maybe the new version of it takes place, 10, 15 years from now, and they've moved to a different place.
That's what I'm saying, that basically the situation is they either get all 4 of those actors back or the show doesn't come back.
Mm.
Can I just say,
well, I can tell you right now. Oh, go ahead.
Well, in regards to one character aging while another didn't, does anybody remember Merlin with Mordred being just a boy in that first season and then being like a full-grown adult, and nobody else seemed to age as much as he did? So, yeah, at this point, I'm willing to buy it.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, she could always. She has the excuse of saying that she had Henry when she was young, and not all people age badly. Some people age really well and can be in their 40s and still look like they're 5. Yeah. So that's a plausible thing. The Regina thing is also plausible because she adopted him.
Mm-hmm.
So, thing too. I don't know. I'm not going to assume that he's ever taken her back to Storybrooke, or that she knows about his, real life and his past and all the fairy tale shit. Because that's not something you just dump on somebody you're dating. That's a big fucking deal to tell them. And they're not, if he just tells her, oh, I'm the author, my grandmother is Snow White and my grandfather's Prince Charming, and oh, by the way, my stepfather's Captain Hook. He would have to take her into Storybrooke itself so she could see, magic and shit. Or she'd think, dude, you need to go into a padded cell. No? So if he was going to tell her that, he couldn't tell her that unless he was really wanted to commit to her.
But again,
long term.
But again, like I was saying before, this plays into my theory that this guy they cast and the little girl, that we're not going to see them unless the show gets renewed.
Yeah,
maybe.
And I hope, that A&E know this before the finale airs.
Yeah,
but the little girl's been filming with Snow and Charming and Tiger Lily.
If it's an add-on at the end, it's something they can easily cut out. If they know for sure that the show is being canceled, which they will hopefully know here by the end of this month, as long as they know before the finale is supposed to air, they can cut it.
Because I do think that something that Eddie has no filter. Eddie gives no fucks because Natalie Abrams asked if season 6 ended the way the series was meant to end, and Eddie instantly said yes. And then Adam was all with the backtracking going, well, sort of. And then Eddie's like, well, season 6 ends the way we always wanted it to end. Okay. So we're basically seeing. So basically, what we're going to see is the original end of the series,
Right.
where
I'm sure they had Sheriff Swan and Sheriff Jones in mind when they planned the end.
Well, they couldn't have in
So-
season 1 because Killing Jones was not a thing.
Mm.
I hope that they do go back to the Chapter Force, taking some of Storybook with them, and
Because it's weird. It's weird that they were also asked, "Is the curse that created Storybook going to be broken?" And they were like, "Can't say,"
ooh,
and implying that the curse isn't fully broken. That's just the memory part of it that was broken. See, that doesn't make any sense to me.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. But
Mm.
I mean, all I can say is if they're gonna do a season 7, then the guy they're casting really is, let's be honest, makes the most sense. You know, okay, if they decided to move out of Storybrooke, go to New York or Boston or wherever. I don't know how freaking Storybrooke magic would follow them, considering this is a land without magic.
Well, there's a possibility that Emma's not even going to be the savior after this fight with this fight with Gideon. That's in the finale, because gets stabbed, and then Henry wakes her up with True Love's kiss or some bullshit.
Oh, like a
Which is a
little.
nice callback to the season 1 finale, I suppose.
Yeah.
It is,
Yeah, but
but given the fact that Killian is standing right there, it drives me nuts because I really want them to get that True Love's kiss, and it looks like we're never going to get it, and it kind of pisses me off.
Yeah, we're not gonna get Captain Swan sex, and we're not gonna get the True Love kiss. But we're gonna get Raphael.
I mean, okay,
together.
I understand that we've already had our True Love moment, and it's unique to them, and I love it. But for me, Emma Swan deserves that romantic True Love's kiss with her true love. That's all I'm saying.
I know, but just looking at it from a storytelling perspective, it was Henry who was feeling guilty before because he thought that being the savior would mean Emma's death. So I think it also makes sense that he's the one to save her.
Yeah, you and your logic, bro.
Sorry.
No, I'm kidding. I was joking. Like, I get that. Maybe, I mean, there's always the possibility that Captain Swan True Love's kiss will be what breaks Snowing's curse. I don't know what the fuck's happening with that.
Yeah, I don't even get why they didn't even mention what Emma's doing in this episode.
Yeah, there's nothing about Emma in that, and there's still the theory that she winds up in Neverland because there's still the
I have
dangling
heard
thing
that.
hanging out there with the two stunt doubles, one with dark hair, one with blonde hair. Emma's literally the only woman with blonde hair,
Dope. And the one with the black hair is Tiger Lily.
and they're on that beach, or wherever.
Yeah, no,
So you think Emma's gonna find? I mean, how does she even know where he? Well, if she manages to break whatever the spell is that's keeping him from traveling realms or traveling to her realm anyway, this is a portal to get to him. I guess.
I mean, at this point, Emma Swan's the fucking savior. I vote she can do whatever she wants with her magic and say F all this other garbage.
I can't believe they're gonna maybe when they get reunited, they're gonna get reunited in the spot in Neverland where when they share their first juicy kiss.
We don't know that.
Yeah,
All I'm saying is that it's possible that Emma's gonna find her way to him. Is all I'm saying.
it's possible, but I don't want to speculate too much
Me
just in
neither.
case.
Cause slow burns come free. Thank you, Adam and
Yeah.
Ellie.
Low expectations, people. Low
Yeah.
expectations.
Lower expectations. Though.
I will say this: Killian being away from everybody else has gone on too long.
Mm-hmm.
I need him to
Yes.
get back in this episode, please, and thank you.
Definitely.
That would be nice.
As it is, he will have been away for almost a third of 6B, and that's not cool.
Yeah.
I'm having bad flashbacks to the dark days.
But at least he's in.
Except in the dark days, yeah. At least he's there because in the dark days he wasn't
there
even
at all.
there.
The dark times. We do not speak of the dark times.
What are signs?
When Colin busted his leg
Oh,
and was written out of like 4 episodes in the back half of season 2.
oh.
In episode 19
No,
for like a second
very
at the very
and
end,
he's conveniently tied up.
seated in the back of the van being brought back to Storybrooke.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Lisa, you've always said that you wanted to see like in the real world, so I would be okay with the show like jumping to New York or
Yeah,
something.
because that's something I always felt like Adam and Eddie never quite achieved. They wanted this to be what would it be like if the fairy tale characters were in the real world? Haven't been, because even though they're in the land without magic, they're isolated from the rest of the world. They're in their little town that nobody can see. Or well, actually, now that Regina has broken that, does that mean that visitors can go in and out now?
I don't know.
Well, yeah.
I don't
But
think they know.
they are totally cut off from the entire rest of the world.
Yeah.
Never leaves. Nobody comes in. So really, their premise has not really been met. I think would be fucking awesome. The fairy tale characters literally do go out in the real world. Like they find some way to fix this whole there's no magic in that realm. Because even the Red Dragon himself said there is magic there. You just have to know where to look.
Yeah.
Like what you would get in Enchanted Forest, but it's there.
Yeah. They can go to New York. They can go to New Orleans, and then they can meet the Michaelsons. They can go to Harry Potter's magical world or something. But I will be damn down if they go to New York, to the real world, and make it begins at 7.
I would love to see, like, because I'm still fucking pissed off at what they did at the end of season 5 when they created. Okay, I know that this is New York.
Oh
I know
God.
in New York people do some crazy shit.
Yes.
So most people don't notice the crazy shit that goes on, but I'm sorry, they created a magical fucking portal in a fucking fountain and they caught it on fucking camera. On the fucking news.
Tell us how you really feel, Lisa. Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah.
No, how is this not on the news or viral on the fucking internet?
I don't know.
I mean, seriously. One minute it was a fountain, a completely dry fountain, mind you. It wasn't even working. And the next, they're like, let's throw some pennies in. Some kid goes, let's throw some pennies in. And a massive portal opens up out of nowhere.
The whole thing was
That's not some pyrotechnic shit that that Chris Angel decided to put on. That's some real fucking magic. How are people like not freaking out right now?
Muggles only
sorry,
see what
but
they
that
want to
was-
see.
Thank you.
That could have gone so many awesome ways. Went nowhere. It was
Well.
so poorly handled. I'm like, oh my god, this shit could have been fucking awesome. Like season 6 could have been, oh my god, it's all over the news. They're all coming to Storybrooke. They followed us.
Boom. But no, we have
season 6.
No,
It
but
would
no.
have been so awesome if people from the outside followed them to Storybrooke and then they had to explain to all these people that they really existed. Oh my god, that would have been awesome season 6. I wouldn't give a shit about those Storybrooke villains coming in. I want to see how they really interact with the real world people.
Yeah, like news flash about this happening in Oprah and The View. And
well, okay.
Michelle,
Hey,
can you honestly say that would not have been an awesome season 6 storyline?
yeah.
I wonder if any of them would have any grounds to actually sue Disney for using them.
Mm. I love your rant, Lisa. It was awesome.
That'd be funny. Oh man, but let's put out the bottom line here. JMO and Colin need in season 7 for me to give a shit.
Yes.
Yeah. And if they live in New York, it better have a nice apartment with a bed.
I mean, they could live in Timbuktu for all I care.
I you know that Timothy. No. I don't care if you live in New York or New Orleans or in
New Orleans would actually be good because they've got the whole voodoo thing going on
and the
down there. So
Michaelsons
that
are
could be
there.
interesting.
Or
Originals and Once Upon a
she
Time
could take him.
crossover.
She can take him back to her old stomping grounds in Boston. I mean-
Yeah,
Just don't
They
go
can bail bonds
Tallahassee.
together.
yeah. I just without Jen and Colin and the entire cast, for me at least, it's not Once Upon a Time. I will be down if Snowing leaves. That's fine. They come as guest stars, but if Colin and Jen do not come back and they do reboot shit without them,
Well,
I don't know for shit.
I think it's an all or nothing deal. Either they get all 4 back or the show doesn't come back.
Yeah.
Because they're the 4. Well, you know my stance on this. I think that even if Lana and Robert didn't come back, I think as long as Colin and Jen are there, it's fine.
There's no way the ABC would not do that. There's no way. They would.
But I
I think
guess
they either want all 4 or none.
they're so fucking vocal that they're too afraid the show would tank if they didn't have
Yeah.
Queen and
And
Rumple
Doug
to be on. But you know, all I can say, I just wish that they would tell us one way or the other
Yes.
sooner rather than later, so that we can
Breathe.
so that we can come to terms,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can have time to accept it. Because if we have to watch the finale and then find out afterwards, it's going to be hard. This is a show we've invested ourselves in for a long time. At least I can say at the very least for other shows that I've watched, we at least had the gratification of knowing that the show was in its last year. So we were able to prepare, to let go. But they're not giving us that.
Yeah.
If we have to wait till after, it's going to feel like we've had something severed away, and that's very painful.
Yeah.
Yes, they need to put us out of our misery.
Yeah. Then the suspense is killing me. Right now, we all can do speculate because now we don't know. We are like Jon Snow. We don't know nothing until they just give us the entire info. If they're gonna do season 7 with the entire
hell date is it?
Someone else posted on Tumblr that Lana was cited filming upfronts. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. This is usually the time of year when they do that.
Well, I'm trying to find the exact date of upfronts that ABC is going to actually present. It's the week of crap. It's the upfronts are the 3rd week in May 15th through the 19th.
That's after the show is fucking over.
I know.
Oh my god.
We'll
God,
see.
I wish Adam and Eddie lived in Peru.
Oh, I can tell you this based on that Deadline article, which I'm really steamed about because I really like the fucking show, but Time After Time was pulled.
Yes. We knew that.
That
That's
quick?
been on for like 3 weeks.
Huh?
Yeah, they aired like 3 episodes.
No, they aired like 5 or 6 episodes, and then they
No, it
pulled
wasn't that many. It was like
really
4.
sucked because the show was, to me, it was really good. I liked it, but hey, I'm just one person.
Because the finale, if they air 21 and 22 on the same night, the finale should be the 14th.
Yep.
Right. I still can't explain why this week they've taken so long. They took so long to put out the presser
And the sneak peeks.
and the sneak peeks. They still haven't even put out pictures.
Yeah, we don't even have stills.
No,
People were
still.
starting to like think, are they actually having an episode this week because of Easter? Or what? Maybe the ABC PRs were like, are they actually having one this weekend? It's Easter. What are they doing? Oh my God, because normally they don't. Usually Easter Sunday they have Ben-Hur or whatever Easter thing that they fucking do.
Ten
So
Commandments.
yeah. What
does the people have to do to make the spoiler monkeys put the sneak peeks and the stills and the promos? Slap them or hit them or something?
It's on the ABC PR people, but let's be real. The ABC PR people have been pretty much non-existent for the last, 3 years.
So
Or
17 is tomorrow. 18 is the 23rd. 19 is the 30th. 7th is
The
episode
30th.
20, which is the wedding.
Woohoo!
And then 21.
and then the 14th is
21 and 22.
back to back.
Yeah.
And it won't be
Yeah.
until now. Everybody hope and pray that we get an announcement about once before the 14th. Because
Yeah.
if we have to wait until actual upfronts, that is going to be no bueno.
No. Everybody's gonna be so heartbroken if that happens.
I just wish
But-
they would say something now so that we have time to just
Prepare ourselves.
prepare our souls, as Killing would say.
Yeah.
But from the previous airings, Parter was the Captain Swan movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So yes,
Yes.
it's the first time they ever did it.
Yes.
I'm so sad that we're not gonna get a Captain Swan movie sequel.
But they have to do it because the 21st is the Billboard Music Award things, so they got to wrap up once before that.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Billboard Awards where Captain Swan is gonna lose to Claire and the dude and the chick from Outlander.
No, it's the Billboard Music Awards, dear.
Oh,
not
sorry.
the People's Choice.
The People's Choice. Ugh,
Those are on CBS. Those were in January.
I know.
Yes, People's Choice is in January.
To all our listeners, we just want to wish you a happy Easter.
If you celebrate Easter, if you
Mm.
don't,
If.
that's okay too.
Hmm.
Okay.
And please,
Um,
I know that we've all been burned by polls in the past, so if you don't want to do it, you don't have to, but it is that time of year again. E Online, Alpha Male Madness, Colin and Josh, our contestants, they're doing very well right now. So if you want to, go ahead and drop a vote. If you don't care,
They're kicking.
Okay.
They're kicking the guy from Outlander and the dude from Arrow's ass because we know that
Okay, which dude from Arrow?
Steven.
I'm just
Steven.
saying
You're gone.
Steven and the guy who plays Jamie, the guy who plays the guy Jamie from Outlander,
Sam.
and the guy who plays the Monel dude from Supergirl.
Chris Wood.
Can't say I'm upset about that.
Yeah.
Either way, no matter who wins or loses, I expect that Colin and Sam will have a bet of some sort. They always do.
Yes.
Hmm.
Shirtless Colin, please.
You can just watch Carrie Pilby for that.
Oh.
Okay, we're not going to talk about that because I am slightly miffed.
About what? I'm still mad about the chest hair.
Yes.
Oh dear.
And I saw Colin's booty.
That's not cool.
But dude, in this alpha poll thing, I hope the bet between Sam and Collins, whoever wins gets to do a lap dance for the fandom.
No. Let's not.
Please,
let's not
please,
do
please.
anything embarrassing. All right. Do we have anything else to say about
The episode?
Mother's Little Helper?
The Gideon's a punk. Bravos for Emma being a badass, and I'm very excited for the possibility that Emma and Hook getting reunited, and then Rumple can suck donkey dick and die.
Bro.
I know only one truth. It's time for the Jedi to end.
Oh my god.
And this podcast, apparently.
Yes. Apparently, we're about to have a Star Wars discussion, guys.
No surprise.
All right. We'll talk to you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.